Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Salima and in today's video, we are talking about one of my favorite makeup categories, blush. For this video, I have curated a selection of some amazing cream and liquid formulas, both from drugstore and high-end brands. I will share swatches, comparisons, and everything you need to know to find your perfect blush. To keep this video nice and concise, I have picked out blushes that I think you all will be obsessed with. But if there's a specific one that I'm missing, don't be shy. Just drop a comment below and I can always do a part 2. Alright, without further ado, let's jump right in and get this blush party started. Let's start with a fan favorite. These are Rare Beauty Soft Pinch Liquid Blush in the shade Encourage and Hope. Now, these blushes come in both dewy and matte finishes, but I gravitate towards the dewy versions simply because I love the natural finish on the skin. That being said, both formulas are surprisingly budge proof on oily skin, which is always a win in my book. One thing to keep in mind though is that these blushes are insanely pigmented. So if you're new to the liquid blushes, they might seem a tad intimidating at first, but trust me, a little truly goes a long way. Even the mini size feels like it's going to last me forever, and the staying power is impressive. All day wear, no problem. Plus, the formula is lightweight and blends like a dream, making it easy to achieve that perfect flush. Elf recently dropped a dupe of these Rare Beauty blushes. So, if you're interested in Rare Beauty blushes but you don't want to spend $23 on them, these $7 blushes will work just fine. Both the e.l.f. and Rare Beauty blushes are super pigmented and long lasting, so you can get that gorgeous flush that stays put all day. Plus, the textures are similar and leaves a beautiful radiant finish on the skin. Honestly, even if they weren't similar to the Rare Beauty ones, I'd still be raving about e.l.f. blushes. They are just so good for the price, and the quality is seriously impressive. So, whether you are a die-hard Rare Beauty fan or just looking for a reliable drugstore blush, I highly recommend checking these out. Next, we have the Saie Dew Blush. Now, if you are a beginner or someone who prefers a more forgiving formula, this blush is for you. Compared to the Rare Beauty and e.l.f. blushes, the Saie Liquid Blush is slightly sheer and less pigmented. This makes it super easy to blend and work with, especially if you're just starting out with liquid blushes or you love a natural makeup look. I kind of like that it has a translucent quality, so your skin peeks through for a more natural flush. But don't worry, you can totally build up the color for more intensity if you're feeling bolder. Another thing to keep in mind is that Say Blush has a dewier finish compared to the others. Personally, I love the dewy glow, but it's something to consider depending on your preference. It lasts all day on me, so the staying power is on point. Honestly, all three of these blushes are fantastic choices. It really comes down to your budget, personal preference, and skin type. Now let's switch gear and talk about some cream blushes. As you guys probably know by now, I am obsessed with Merit cream blushes. They're like my ride or die cream blush formula for a reason. In my experience, these blushes are so easy and user friendly. You can literally swipe them right onto your cheeks and use your fingers or a brush to blend them out. They're not crazy pigmented, plus, the formula is buildable. So you can control the intensity of color you want on the skin from a soft flush to a bolder pop of color. There is no patchiness or streaks. They're perfect when you are on the go, when you are in a rush and you just want to be done with your makeup in like 5 minutes. These blushes have this beautiful, balmy sheen that gives my skin a soft, lit from within kind of glow. And on my dry skin, it lasts about 6 to 7 hours without any setting powder or sprays. I love them. Another cream blush that I have had in my collection for years now is the Tower 28 Beach Please Cream Blush in the shade Magic Hour. This shade is stunning. It's a perfect nude pink that's ideal for everyday makeup look, and the formula itself is a dream to work with. Compared to the Merit blushes, the Tower 28 is more balmy and pigmented, but it leaves a less dewy finish on the skin. I still get a good 7 to 8 hours of wear out of it, but if you have oily skin, you might want to set it with a touch of powder for extra staying power. I'm actually planning on expanding my Tower 28 collection soon. So if you have tried it and you have some color recommendations, hit me in the comments. I'd love to hear your favorites. All right, now let's talk about a drugstore option that totally reminds me of the Tower 28 blush. It's the Milani Cheek Kiss Cream Blush in the shade Nude Kiss. Talking about the color payoff, they're pretty similar. Both have medium opacity where they're not insanely pigmented but not too sheer either. Texture wise, there are some slight differences. The Tower 28 feels a bit richer and creamier, while the Milani has a thinner, more emollient feel, which you can see on the skin as well. The Milani has a more luminous and dewy look that's similar to the Merit blush. I'm super impressed with this Milani blush. In fact, I have a feeling this Milani blush is going to become a staple in my drugstore makeup bag. In case you don't know, I have already done a video on my drugstore favorites. Make sure to check it out if you haven't already. There are some amazing finds in there. A relatively newer blush launch that's very similar to the Milani cream blush is the Makeup by Mario Soft Pop Plumping Blush in the shade Barely Blushing. I swear this video is not about me showing 100 shades of pink blushes, so this will be the last one. Or not, we'll find out. Anyways, I featured this blush in my Best of Beauty 2023 video because it instantly brightens my complexion and gives my cheeks a plump, healthy flush without looking overdone. Compared to Milani, I find it a touch dewier and more reflective on the skin, but it's not as pigmented as Milani. So, depending on your preference and the blush color you are looking for, you might choose one over the other. Now, if you want a cream blush with a matte finish, I have two options for you. First up are the e.l.f. Putty Blushes. These are cream to powder blushes, meaning they go on nice and creamy on the skin but dry down to a matte powder finish. Something to keep in mind is that there are two versions of these blushes. The original formula is completely shimmer free, while the luminous blushes that they launched later on have a lot of shimmer in them. Both formulas dry down to a matte finish on the skin and they have decent pigmentation, but don't try to build the color too much or it will start looking patchy. I highly recommend using the e.l.f. Putty Blush brush with these because the container is a bit on the small side. A cream blush that I prefer over the e.l.f. Putty Blush for a similar matte finish is the LYS Satin Matte Cream Blush. It has this satin matte finish that's not completely flat like the e.l.f. ones, but not glowy either. It's kind of like the best of both worlds. I find the LYS formula easier to work with because it's buildable, it has better color payoff, it doesn't budge on the skin, which is great for oily skin types. Even though I have dry skin, I can use it without any problems. So if you're looking for a versatile matte cream blush that's easy to blend and last all day, definitely check out the LYS Satin Matte Cream Blush. If you're enjoying this video so far, hit the subscribe button and leave a comment below letting me know what other product comparisons you would like to see next. For your reference, I have already done a video on Korean lip tints and concealers. So next on my agenda is Powder Blush Showdown. So let me know what do you guys think about that. Now let's talk about liquid blushes that comes in these tube style sleek packaging. First, we have the Glossier Cloud Paints. These are very well known in the makeup community. I have two shades, Puff and Beam. The formula on these is on the watery side, so it's thin and lightweight but super pigmented. You have some playtime for blending before they dry down to a natural looking finish. Once they dry down, they will not move on the skin. Now, I know the price tag on these can be a bit steep, so if you're looking for a drugstore dupe that delivers similar results, check out the Flower Beauty Blush Bombs. I have tried both, and honestly, they're practically twins. Same consistency, color payoff, and lasting power. The only real difference? I kind of like the packaging of Flower Beauty one. It lets you control the amount of product you want to use. Next, we have the NYX Sweet Cheeks Blush Mousse. I like that it comes with its own brush, making the application super easy and convenient. It has a whipped cream kind of texture. On the skin, it dries down to a soft matte finish, similar to the e.l.f. Putty Blushes. However, I have noticed that if you try to layer it up for more intensity, it can sometimes lift your base makeup and get a bit patchy. So the key is to use light hand and it will deliver a decent pop of color without the patchiness. We are going to end this video talking about a blush that has impressed me with their formulation. It's by the brand Ciele. It's their liquid blush with SPF 50. This blush is more than just makeup. It's sun protection in disguise, which I appreciate. It has a thin, creamy texture that feels hydrating on the skin. The formula itself is lightweight and buildable, so you can create a soft, natural flush for everyday wear or build it up for a more dramatic statement look. It blends easily, leaving a dewy, radiant finish that's not sticky or heavy. Plus, it's long lasting, so you don't have to worry about touch ups. For people who have sensitive skin or who are prone to sunburn, this blush might be worth considering even with the slightly higher price tag because you get a unique combination of beautiful color and sun protection. Alright, that marks the end of today's video. I hope you guys found this helpful in navigating the world of cream and liquid blushes. Now, I would love to hear from you. Which cream and liquid blushes have earned your top spots? Share your favorites in the comments below and let me know if you would be interested in seeing a part 2 of this video. As always, thank you for joining me on this beauty journey. Take care and I will see you in my next video. Bye.